How's it going, everyone? This is Mark here of the Onside Kick. And first of all, obviously, go Blackhawks. But right now it's kind of a weird day because there's, a thunderstorm going on right now. I guess there's some tornado warnings, and there was some tornado in one of the southern suburbs of Chicago. So it's a weird day right now for the Game 6 of the Stanley Cup Finals. Luckily, it's not here in Chicago since our weather is so crappy. It's over in Boston, so go Hawks. Something that's going around the rumor mill right now for the Chicago Bulls is that Luol Deng may be going over to Washington for their third-round pick. Not only their third-round pick, but we would also get Okafor, the center, and I would be really happy about this. I really would. Not only do we get a young player who can do the same job as Luol Deng, but for cheaper, we get Okafor, who will be a beneficial player. Obviously, he's not going to be replacing Joakim Noah or anything like that, and it still doesn't change who I think we should go for the second round of the draft just this Thursday. But I would love to be able to get out of Luol Deng and his money that he's going to be worth and asking for after this next season, because really, we're not going to keep him. He's going to be gone after next season because we can't afford it. And he's really not going to be one of the main pieces to the championship puzzle here in Chicago. So I say get rid of him now and get that third round pick. You can go, obviously, Luol Deng, great player, and he can be a great player for someone else. That's why he's going to go for one of those top picks. But for a small forward, you may be thinking, do you really want to just trade away one small forward and draft another one? Do you really want to go for Otto Porter, out of Georgetown, who obviously a lot of people, there's some hype about him. He's going to be one of those top 5 picks. I don't know. I wouldn't mind having him on the team. I really wouldn't. I think he developed into a great player, and I think he can develop into an even better player, especially, on the Chicago Bulls, which is such a defensive system-based team. We can make players play better. That's what the whole bench mob mentality is. The bench always is going to play pretty well because of the fact that Thibodeau's defensive system works so well, anybody can learn it. And I think you get a great guy like Porter, who's a young player, a developing player, and developing into somebody really just with a high potential. I think it's a great pickup. And we get to keep, that, I love him, and that Ricky loves him as well. Tim Hardaway Jr., he's our consensus guy of who we want at that number 20 pick. Even Mbakwe in the second round, who's, is that center, maybe power forward. We get some versatility there when you got Joakim, you got Okafor, you got Mbakwe. All have the ability to play center, obviously. And even having Mbakwe come up and play power forward as well. Just kind of being that role player that we get out of the second round will be great. Tim Hardaway Jr., great shooting guard. I'll be happy with it. And you know how I feel. My one thing that I say the Bulls need is that shooting guard. We've needed it for a few years now. I don't know why it's taking so long for us to get it. So you might be saying to me, why not McLemore out of Kansas? Aren't you a fan of him? And I am a fan of him, obviously. Great shooting guard. But I don't know. I wouldn't say that I would rather have Tim Hardaway Jr. I just don't think that there's going to be as good of a shooting guard as a small forward as Otto Porter to be the replacement for Luol Deng at that 20th pick. I really doubt it. You might get somebody to fall, but you're kind of, you're going to be crossing your fingers and hoping, and I don't think we're going to be that lucky. Oladipo, however, I would probably put him before McLemore. And I don't know, he's a good player, he's got the age. Everybody loved Indiana this past season. But I don't know. Are you going to trust that somebody good at the small forward position is going to fall back? And you're not going to get a good small forward to replace Luol Deng in the second round. So That's not an option. I would rather get Oladipo than to get Tim Hardaway Jr., but I don't think we're going to be able to pull something like that out because you do also have to work on getting that Luol Deng replacement, and there's not going to be somebody there at pick number 20. Maybe you guys think that there's some sleeper pick all the way back at 20 to fill in the Luol Deng spot, and if you do, leave those comments down below. Maybe you don't think we should get rid of Luol Deng. That's fine too. There's plenty of people who want to keep Luol Deng. I'm not one of them. I think he's a great player. I just don't think he's going to be worth the money, and I think we should get something out of him before he just walks at the end of this season. So, I don't know. Come Thursday, if we can get that number 3 spot, and there's rumor that we might be able to get the number 1 from Cleveland. I severely doubt that. And even if we do, if we can pull that off, that would be incredible. I don't think we're going to need to because we get the number 3. We're not going to take Noel. There's no reason for the Bulls to get another injury guy who's going to spend time sitting on the bench, and everyone's going to say, didn't we just have somebody sitting on the bench last year for, the entire season? But you get the number 1 spot, you're guaranteed whoever you want, obviously, but we don't need it because at number 3 you got Porter, you got Oladipo, you got McLemore. Any of those guys are going to be great. You got solid options, obviously. Or, depending on what you do with there, if you don't get any of it, maybe you get just straight players, which I wouldn't be as happy about as getting the 3rd overall pick. But, I don't know. I guess we'll see what happens. We all know that the Bulls don't like to make draft trades. They're not really known lately for making those trades on or around draft day. I'm just hoping that something changes and we kind of get some new young life into this team, because right now we're a great team, we really are, but we're just missing that second option. We're missing that shooting guard who could be Oladipo, who could be Tim Hardaway Jr., and then if we can replace Luol Deng with somebody cheaper and younger, that's incredible. And to even get Okafor and Bakwe, we're building up a great team, replacing some of those bench guys who are going to be gone with players who I think are better and who will work extremely well in Thibodeau's system. So, right now, I'm thrilled about everything going on for the Bulls draft come Thursday. So, we're just going to have to sit and wait. So, don't forget, guys, we're getting close to the end of June. So, leave your comments and subscribe for that chance to win that Anthony Rizzo ball if you're one of those Cub fans that want that kind of thing. Not for me. Not for me. But don't forget, subscribe, comment, check out our other videos, and remember, let us know who you think the Bulls should go for with not only number 20, but if we get the number 3 as well.